Hello everyone, this is Calvin here playing some Pauper in another one of our league matches. Today I'm actually going to be playing Morgan and I'm going to be playing Boggles, or Bogles depending on how you like to pronounce it. It's one of the new decks I've put together to kind of mess around with, so I'm going to do a quick deck tech here before I play just to give you guys an idea of what's going on. So the deck gets its name from Slippery Boggle, or Bogle. It's just a 1/1 hexproof for, in this deck, green. So essentially you play a Bogle, or you play something like it, like Glade Cover Scout, or Silhana Ledgewalker, which is a Boggle that also can't be blocked except by creatures with flying. And then you start suiting up with enchantments until you can win. So the different enchantments we have in this deck are Ethereal Armor, which pretty much is the best 1-mana enchantment you can give on one of your Bogles, because it just grows for every enchantment. We also have Rancor, which is perfect in this deck because it grants trample, and one of the biggest things is being able to beat Oh, sorry there, about to sneeze. One of the biggest things is being able to beat a bunch of chump blockers. So this being able to give trample lets you just, gives you the evasion you need in order to actually win. There's also the two big enchantments, which are Armadillo Cloak, which gives +2/+2 trample and gives kinda lifelink. So this is different than lifelink because it's a triggered ability. So you don't gain the life if someone's like killing you when you're blocking with something with this. But it also means it stacks with lifelink and with extra copies of Armadillo Cloak. It also is called Armadillo Cloak, which just makes it amazing in general. We also have Ancestral Mask, which just is the biggest pump because it gives +2/+2 for each other enchantment on the battlefield. So even with two other enchantments, it becomes a 4/4 buff. And especially with two of these, it can just get out of control. Some other enchantments we have are the Abundant Growth, which is really just a cantripping enchantment. It also kind of helps fix your mana. It just comes in, draws you a card, and you can tap, like your forest for a white if you need it. This deck is really pretty much base green, with just a little bit of white thrown in for mostly the Armadillo Cloak and Ethereal Armor. Utopia Sprawl is just another 1-mana enchantment that also ramps you. So both of these are really important for Ancestral Mask and Ethereal Armor. We also, in the creature slot, I almost forgot, run Aura Gnarlid. He's the slowest one of kind of the Boggle-esque creatures. He also doesn't have a hexproof, so he's not a Boggle, but he does have the ability. He has invasion built in because power is less than it can't block it, and it also just gets bigger for each aura. So even if you're just running a bunch of Abundant Growths and Utopia Sprawls out, he can still be big on his own and win the game. I also run a Singleton Hydra Umbra, just as kind of an extra crappy Ethereal Armor. I'm toying with changing this for something else, but for right now it's been working. And also, the last non-land card is Commune with the Gods. Digs you 5 deep and gets you a creature or an enchantment. And so it's just a way to kind of rebuild your board if something bad happens, or just dig for that last Ancestral Mask or Armadillo Cloak you need to close out the game. The land base is pretty simple. It's mostly forest because that's the only thing that Utopia Sprawl can enchant. But it also runs 4 Blossoming Sands and 2 Kalni Gardens. Kalni Gardens are important because they put a token in play, which so one of the biggest things this deck can lose to is edict effects. So you need to be able to have more than one creature in play, if at all possible, and sometimes all you have is your Slippery Bogle suited up. So Colonic Garden just puts a plant into play that you can sack. The sideboard I'm still working on, but it has Lifelink, another 1-mana enchantment that just, it really helps in anything where you're going to be racing. Helps in the mirror, helps against anything like burn, because otherwise all you have is Armadillo Cloak to gain life, and that's 3 mana. So this just helps get the life gain going early. I have 2/2 split of Gutshot and Hornet Sting. These are important for taking out Standard Bearer, which kind of wrecks the deck. And for, I've been losing to Elves a lot, so this gives me a way to kind of disrupt Elves. The reason for the 2/2 split is because I feel like in some matchups you don't really want to pay the 2 life, but some matchups you just don't care and can bring them all in. Scattershot Archer is just a generic way to deal with a lot of flying creatures. Young Wolf is another way to help beat Edict effects because it'll come back again. It's also nice just against the... hold on. There we go. It's also nice just against decks that are like clogging up the ground with creatures if you need it. Naturalize is just a catch-all against troublesome enchantments and artifacts. Can also blow up the artifact lands, which is nice. Relic of Progenitus is the generic graveyard hate I'm running. It can work pretty well. But this deck is pretty simple overall. It's not like super spicy or anything. It's a pretty stock build. But we're going to see how it does against Morgan.